And he was asked that, is there something synonymous or something quite usual about all the Sahabas? That he met many Sahabas, hundreds of Sahabas he met. Is there something which is quite common in Sahabas? And he said one statement, he said, Sahabas are more possessive of time than wealth. The Sahaba were more possessive of time than wealth. When it came to giving wealth, Sahabas would sacrifice their wealth. At the time of Tabuk, when we read the story of Tabuk, as Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala went home and he gave all his wealth, even to such an extent the Seerah mentions that he wiped the walls of his house, and even if there was a needle there, he took that out and gave it in the path of Allah. Umar radiallahu ta'ala came with half of his wealth, Uthman gave a lot of his wealth, Ali, everybody gave lots of wealth. So Sahabas were not possessive of wealth, they were possessive of time. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was the governor of Kufa in Baghdad at the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And at the time of Hajj, when the people of Kufa came, Umar radiallahu heard the people of Kufa complaining about their governor. They said, this Sayyid ibn Umar, our governor, he's such a person, he's such a... They were complaining about him. So Umar radiallahu ta'ala, a very just person. If I have appointed a governor to these individual people, this community, how can this person be such a person, such a type of person? So Umar went to Kufa, disguised himself, and amongst the community, he started asking questions that how do you find your governor? Sayyid ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And everybody was, some people were complaining, some people were complimenting. So then he addressed Sayyid ibn Umar. He called Sayyid ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he called the community together. He said, these people of your community have complaints about you, and you are in front of me today, you have to answer them. So the people were asked by Umar, what is your complaints? The first complaint is that in the early part of the day, we don't get to meet him at all. You know, he doesn't come out of the house. That's the first complaint. What is the second complaint? The second complaint, at the latter part of the night, in the evening time, in the night time, we never ever get to meet him as well. So early part of the day and late at night, we don't get to meet him. If we have any problems, any issues, we can't see him. What's the third complaint? That once a month, we don't see him until late afternoon. Once a month, every month, once a month, until late afternoon, he does not come out. He does not come out to do his duties. And then the fourth complaint, that sometimes we're sitting in a gathering, and all of a sudden he takes a cry, and he blacks out, he faints, and then we have to, he cries and he blacks out. Then we have to revive him, and then he just like normal again. So these are our 4 complaints about our governor. So Umar radiallahu anhu, facing Sayyid ibn Umar, he says, you answer these 4 questions, 4 complaints. So Sayyid ibn Umar says the first one, that early in the morning I come out late because I do not have a helper. I don't have anybody at home to help me at home. So all the household chores, the shopping, the cleaning, the cooking, everything I do, my duties at home, then I come out to the community and I fulfill my communal duties. So the people have said, are you happy with this answer? They are happy. The second complaint, that late at night, in the evening time, we don't get to meet you at all as well. He says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the day for my communal obligations, but I have my night time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala where I pray my tahajjud, my Quran, my tasbihat late in the evening. Are the people happy? Yes. Your third complaint, well, once a month, you do not come out during the whole morning, late at the afternoon you come out. Why is that once a month? It's because I only own one piece of clothing. I own one piece of clothing. Once a month, I borrow somebody's clothing and I wash my clothing, and until it is dry, I do not come out until I can wear that piece of clothing. This is the governor of Kufa saying he owns one piece of clothing. Sahabas were not possessive of wealth, they were possessive of time. Are the people happy? Yes. And the last complaint, where you sometimes in a gathering, you're talking and you black out. Why is that? He said at the time of Jahiliyyah in Makkah al-Mukarramah, when Khubayb radiallahu ta'ala anhu was getting hung, and the Quraysh asked Khubayb radiallahu, would you prefer Muhammad be in your place? And he said, Khubayb radiallahu said, that I do not want even Muhammad to have sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, would not tolerate a thorn prick the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I'd rather be here now. And the people laughed. The Quraysh laughed. And I was amongst those who laughed as well. Sayyidina Umar had not accepted Islam then. He said, I was amongst those who laughed as well. And when I remember this incident, I cry and I cry that will Allah forgive me that I laughed at Khubayb radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and I black out. And then Umar asked the people, are you happy with this? Yes. The reason why I mentioned this incident, the Sahabas, even they were governors. They were governors of communities. He was a governor of a state. He still had time for his family. He still has time for his people. He still had time for himself. And he had time for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what we have to do. We cannot be possessive of the worldly life. We have to be possessive of time. So be productive in every single manner. Excel in your studies. Excel in your work. Excel in your worldly affairs. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the most richest of all people. We always say the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived a life of poverty. The Sahabas lived. No. The Prophet of Allah